6:03 on this Friday morning. Today is the last day this year, and everyone is wondering what, if anything, will happen when the clock strikes 12 tonight. Just in case you have an emergency, we want you to know what to expect and where you can call for help. Krista Olson is standing by live at MEMS in Little Rock to show what they've been doing to make sure your emergencies are handled smoothly. Krista.
BJ, we want to tell you that later on in the show what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what MEMS is doing to make sure everything goes smoothly for Y2K. Also, we're going to tell you things that you should have on hand just in case something does go wrong. And also, we're going to have some information. If you need to call 911, we're going to tell you the information you need to be able to give those dispatchers. That's all coming up in the rest of the show. BJ, we hope everybody stays tuned.
All right, Krista, we'll be back to you in just a few minutes. In other news, if you've tried to make a doctor's appointment this week, you know it's... She was 119. 2 more days and she would have lived in 3 different centuries. With all of these changes, there's no telling what will happen coming up tonight. Want to know who's really prepared for any Y2K weirdness? Rich Jaffe introduces us to some folks who really don't care if the power system and computers go down. They've done nicely without them for years.
Rain chances picking up at about 50%. Then we'll gradually cool off. It looks as if a more significant system is going to move into Arkansas, and with that, our temperatures will cool off into the upper 40s and to the lower 50s. And that is a look at your weather here at 622. Don't panic. Remember that if for some reason you have an emergency in the next couple of days, since today's the last day of the century, or the 1900s anyway, people everywhere are holding their breath to find out if anything will happen. And just in case you have an emergency of your own, there are some things you need to know before you pick up the telephone. And Krista Olson joins us live from MEMS in Little Rock this morning with everything you need to know. Krista, well, I need Band-Aids.
I don't know, Tom. It depends on what happens to you.
Right.
What we want to cover this morning, though, is we want to tell you what MEMS has done to become Y2K compliant. Joining us this morning is John Swanson. He's the executive director here at MEMS.
Morning.
Good morning. Thanks for getting up early with us. Tell us, what have you guys done to make sure things go smoothly?
Sure. Well, for Y2K preparations, what we've done is replace 3 important systems at MEMS. One of them is the computer-aided dispatch, or the CAD as it's called. This has been online since September. And this is what allows us to keep track of our system, dispatch our units, and so forth.
Okay.
Second thing we've done is the LifePak 12 monitors. Heart monitors are all brand new. And the third thing is in the area of communications, both in the radios that are on our trucks and in the telephone system that we communicate with the public. All those have been upgraded and tested to ensure that they're Y2K ready.
And outside, when we first came in, I heard some people talking about how they were looking forward to their long shifts this weekend.
Indeed.
And people in our shop are saying the same things.
Right.
Tell us about how you're staffing.
Right. Normally, well, we've doubled our staffing. We're asking people to work overtime shifts and extra hours to make sure that all of our trucks are staffed and on the streets tonight. We don't anticipate any problems, but our job is to be prepared in the event something unexpected happens. So we have all of our trucks staffed, and extra crews will be at Altel Arena tonight, and folks will be downtown for the fireworks display.
That's good to know. And, you know, if people do have something that does go wrong tonight or, you know, in the next couple of days, there are some things that maybe they can have on hand and some things that you suggest they should do.
Yeah, specifically for anybody who has any home health equipment, heart monitors, oxygen equipment, and that sort of thing, that you just want to make sure that not just at midnight, but throughout the next several days, that you check the status of your home health equipment.
We're showing you a graphic right now. We want to go through this list real quickly. You want to make sure to have a 3-day supply of food, baby food, and water on hand. Also a can opener in case you need to open a can of food. A flashlight and batteries is good to have. A battery-powered radio just so you know what's going on. And also a first aid kit is a good idea to have.
Sure.
John, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We're going to talk with you a little bit later on in the show about, Tom, we're going to talk about things that you need to know when you actually make the call, information that's important to the dispatcher.
Okay, now is 911 Y2K compliant, I should say?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. All those numbers, don't dial Y2K. All right, Krista Olson, thanks a lot, live from MEMS this morning. BJ?
Tom, thank you. It is now 6:25. The governor's office is work on a prosthetic hand in the coming years. They wanted her to have the legs and feet completed first. Raylyn she returned 1 year old this past December 10th.
Well, BJ, we are 18 hours or less than 18 hours to go, well, before midnight. Let me start that again. There is less than 18 hours to go before midnight. Turn of the new year, of course, Y2K. And you're probably wondering what, if anything, will happen at New Year's. We wanted to know what kind of emergencies typically happen on any given New Year's night or eve, so you'll know what to expect. Krista Olson is joining us now live from MEMS in Little Rock to tell you what you need to prepare for. Krista, how are you this morning?
I'm really well this morning. Tom, good? Well, you know.
I've forgotten how to read. I'm going to go back and see. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Well, we want to go over what you need to do when you call into 911, things that you need to be sure to tell the dispatcher. And there are a lot of things that you should know. Don't panic, things like that. Joining us this morning is John Swanson. He's the Executive Director here at MEMS. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us what happens when somebody calls into 911.
Sure. First thing that happens is when you call 911 is that your call will be answered in the police and fire jurisdiction where your call originates. And if an ambulance is included in the call, then it's a simple one-button push button when you ring down to MEMS. And then the call will be answered by a call taker here who will first confirm the nature of your emergency and your location. And as soon as that is done, within 30 seconds, then an ambulance will be dispatched to your location while the call taker stays on the telephone with you to help you through whatever your situation, CPR, controlling a bleed, whatever that problem might be.
Okay. And we want to go over some things that you need to know to tell the dispatcher in case you do need to make a 911 call.
Sure.
We have a graphic we're going to put up on the screen for you. The first thing they need to be able to tell them is what's the injury they're calling in about, the nature of the problem.
The nature of the problem, confirm the address and the phone number. We need a callback phone number. And directions may be necessary, especially if it's going to be inside. Slow down our responses.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of emergencies do you usually see on New Year's?
Well, I think it's going to be the potential like every other night. Automobile accidents, on a night of celebration, people who drink to excess, party too hard perhaps, may expose themselves to greater risk of injury, not just while driving, but falls or whatever.
Okay. John, thank you so much. Good information this morning.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, too. Tom, we hope you have everything you need to know in case you have an emergency.
I tell you what, I'm all confused. That's what I am this morning. I can't decide if it's a new century, a new millennium, or just a neat number.
I'm sure a lot of people at home are sitting there thinking, yeah, big surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Krista Olson live with us. Well, is your pet Y2K ready? Well, maybe not. Just ahead, we're going to give you the test to see whether your pet is Y2K.
Just to think about how long that rock has been around. That's what really got me. Yeah, we've come a long way, but there's a lot that's come before us and a lot that will come after us.
Laksar Bura, who introduces visitors to the rock, says the interest in the spiritual side is building as the new millennium draws near.
As we move into the new millennium, people are taking stock. Where have we come from? Where are we now? Where are we headed for in the future?
But to the Anunu and their ancient rock, a mere 2,000 years is hardly worth measuring. Through an interpreter,